29S Alante here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is what you'd often refer to as like a more entry-level Class A gas motorhome. But that sounds kind of derogatory, and I don't think it does this one justice, because this is the best an Alante's ever been. These keep getting dialed in, and I think they're really starting to find their home here. I am very impressed with what I see. Then again, I am a sucker for these big full-wall slide models, but the outside kitchenette, outside entertainment, the big basement storage, all the things that go into this is really hitting everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. I don't think it's entry level. I think it's a smart money Class A. This is my kind of coach right here. So I like this floor plan. I like the way this functions, the way this flows. I really like the layout of this here, and with the slide closed like we have it right now, you've just got easy access, free flowing access right to everything here. I love the extra wide door to the bathroom. It just really opens this up, and I don't know, it's just a little more welcoming than a lot of them. I don't feel so claustrophobic in here. And the little hallway here, even, you know, with the refrigerator coming up, you know, this close and whatnot, I don't know, everything feels good to me. I think because it does still, even with this door open in transit, kind of privatize the rear bedroom, but you do notice you can still use the bed in transit. You don't have one of the bendy beds or folding beds, so if you do need to stop and take a little break, you don't have to run the slides out, or I guess in this case, the slide out, to be able to use this RV in transit. Now there's some very nice Class C's out there, like the Jayco Greyhawk, for instance. It's a very highly appointed Class C that has a lot of the features you'd find technically in this thing's big brother, the Precept. However, one thing, generally speaking, Class C's don't do is this. The captain's chairs don't typically spin around to face the living area due to the drop into the cab in a Class C as compared to the main living deck. But in a Class A, we're all up on kind of one level, which is also what gives us a lot of outside storage that we'll talk about outside. So here's one of the other main benefits of a Class A coach, is that it really expands your living space. Now, we have a 7-foot interior height here, which really opens everything up, and you can see they were not shy with the lighting. This will light up like a Christmas tree in here, and you are never going to feel like you can't see anything. Now, neat little thing, Jayco air vents. They're both vented and louvered, which means they can turn and be closed to really get the air going exactly where you want it. Now, the air system on an Alante is a little unconventional. These are 30-amp coaches, and that's all they are, and that's all they will be. That's just how these are built. If you're looking for the big 50-amp jobs, that's the Big Brother Precept. However, they were really smart, and they put an energy management system in these that allows them to have dual air conditioners. You have a total 22,000 BTU dual centralized air system on these, even on a 30-amp circuit. So pretty neat how they made that kind of all come together. Now, the front power bunk that we're looking at here, that is an optional piece of equipment. And, you know, I've got it in daytime living mode right now, but in the span of about 5 seconds, that power bunk can drop down and give us that extra sleeping space that you want for like guests, grandkids, whatever. And in typical Jayco fashion, they have the highest bed rating of anyone in the overcab bunk area, whether it's a little Melbourne, a Red Hawk, a Greyhawk, an Alante here, or a Precept. All Jayco overcab beds have a 750-pound sleep rating. That's an industry best kind of thing. I've not seen anyone remotely close to this class exceed that ever. Now, we do have manual roll-down side blackout night shades. We have a power front shade, and what I like about that is while you're driving, if you need to edge that kind of up or down to get that sunlight out of your eyes, it's very easy to do. Obviously, like you can see here, I've already demonstrated, we can spin around the captain's chairs. In the Alante series here, the dash and, you know, cab area will be far more simplistic as opposed to Big Brother Precept. However, all the important stuff is still here. I've already got the little destination use table put in, but we've got our combination in-motion camera system here, and that does work in motion. It's not just a rear view camera, it's an actual in-motion observation, which is pretty cool. Pretty simplistic as we go down below, but I mean, really, what more do you need in the cab area of this? You got your generator start-stop, handy little USB charge station, whatnot down there to keep your phone handy if you're going to Bluetooth music off your phone or GPS or whatever. Even though you can do that off here, a lot of folks still prefer to use their phones to do it. That's DVD, GPS, nav, touchscreen, all kinds of stuff, stereo. We'll talk more about the chassis on the Ford system here as we go outside, but one thing I do want to point out as we come over here is you do have a hydraulic automatic leveling system. And I really like to stress the hydraulic part because it does have power up and down. And it is surprising how many big motorhomes still have a spring retract, a spring recoil on the leveling system. This is hydraulic up and down. And why that's really important is, like, if you put your jacks down, but the ground is soft and they kind of sink a little bit overnight, the hydraulic system can kind of power up through that and rip those jacks back up out of the ground so that you don't have to go out there and like try to chisel your jacks free. And you do have heated side mirrors on these as well. Now, your side mirrors, the moment you flip on the turn signals, like let's say you flip on your left blinker, you're going to get a view straight down the left side of your coach right here automatically. So you can kind of use that for an in-motion, keep an eye out behind you sort of thing, as well as, seeing what's in your blind spot. You don't want to, crush that little Kia Soul like me parked next to you. So let's talk seat belts. This coach can sleep, let's see, with the overhead bunk, you could probably sleep 6 in here pretty easily. 1 on the sofa, 1 on the dinette, 2 in the bunk, 2 in the back. Well, you need enough seat belts for all those people. And that's what's kind of cool about this one. This can sleep 6, but it can seat 8. So you have flexibility and functionality. So if you got a couple grandkids that are kind of bickering at each other, you can set them in separate seats when you're going down the road. You've got 2 here in the sofa. You've got 2 on the rear bench, and then in a situation that Jayco doesn't have to do, they have rear-facing dinette seat belts right here. That is not a government requirement thing. Understand though, guys, the moment you put a seat belt in something, you open yourself up to government liability and regulation and all kinds of stuff. So, to make sure your family stays safe, not only do they put in more seatbelts, but Jayco's also test and do pull testing on their seatbelts for 10% more than the government requires. I think that's pretty cool. Safety is in mind with these guys, and there is full storage below this. Now, over here, I love this big picture window, especially in conjunction with your main window. And notice it is a window, although you do have a privacy shade built into that. You can slide up and down as required. But you get an awesome view of the door side of your destination. You're not just looking at kitchen cabinetry or the neighbor's campsite. Not to mention the fact that you got a window here and a window right behind the sofa. Straight across from this, you can get some excellent cross-breeze ventilation going on through here. Now, the TV does swing out for easy viewing, whether you're at the dinette, whether you're sitting in the captain's chairs, roughly in my current position, or on the sofa. Everyone has a good shot at the entertainment center, and that is something that a lot of motorhomes in this category have done a very poor job of addressing, and I'm really happy to see Jayco keying in on that, because I think that's a big feature a lot of folks are looking for. Now, for bonus sleeping, in addition to that overhead bunk, you've got the Jayco Dream Dinette system right here. Now, both this dining table as well as the sofa will fold down into sleepers. The sofa right here is not a full trifold. It is a more of a bifold sleeper sofa, but it will get the job done again for a bonus grandkid. Chances are with the overhead power bunk, you're very rarely ever going to use this. Now, here in the kitchen, at a glance, because the kitchen kind of sneaks back through the hallway, you don't really consciously realize how much of it is there, and it starts with the cabinets over the sofa and then goes through, and you can see they really did a good job of giving you as much space as they possibly could, and as in a very minimal amount of real estate. Now, you may also notice here in the kitchen, we've got thermal foil countertops. These are sealed edge waterproof membrane countertops right here, where, because we're next to the sink. This is a high water exposure area, and they don't want your countertops to get water damage just from you washing the dishes or the grandkids splashing around. So they are using, even here in the Alante, which you could call the starter Jayco Class A, and then it goes up from here, they're still using the nicer countertops here. Additionally, at this class and price point, a starter Class A, I wouldn't have been surprised to see a plastic sink. I would have been okay with it. But they still went with the nicer stainless. Just an excellent touch here, especially in conjunction with the sprayer type faucet for just easy cleanup and just a nicer look and feel. And by the way, did you spot that there was also a wastebasket space below that countertop right there? Now, normally, the standard build on this, and keep in mind that the one that we're looking at could be different from the one in stock, but this is how I think I call the correct way to build this one, is you would have an 8 cubic foot, 2-door fridge freezer with a vertical pantry beside. if you're willing to sacrifice the pantry, you can gain 50% more cold storage capacity like we've seen here. And I'm always open to viewer feedback, guys. If you think this is the right or wrong decision, please let me know. But generally speaking, it's been overwhelming. Folks are going, yeah, I need the bigger fridge. I can always find a different cabinet to put my stuff. Over here, I want to point out the fact that we do have 12-volt tank heating pads available right off this pad right here, your control center. And I stress 12-volt because what that means is they're very easy to operate in motion. So if you are traveling and you have wind whipping under the chassis, which is closer to the plumbing that has, you know, a greater level of exposure in that case, 12-volt pads are good for in transit. Now, these are solar prepped. This is your power control system right here. So if you do feel like adding solar panels for boondocking use, you're going to like that. Speaking of my boondocking friends, this includes a 1,000-watt inverter. And that 1,000-watt inverter, let me turn around, runs your main living room TV. It runs your bedroom TV, the outside TV, and entertainment center. So if you are boondocking off the grid, you can use your batteries to kind of keep yourself, you know, entertained through the weekend. And I mentioned it when the slides were closed, but this big sliding entry door, this nice wide entry door, I like that I don't feel like I have to sneak into a tiny, tiny bathroom in a motorhome. It's wider, it's more welcoming, it's easy come and go, and with that 7-foot ceiling, a tall guy like me, or lady as it were, you're going to have no problems. I love this leg room. This is awesome. You know, and when it's longer, I just kind of realized that means that there has to be more countertop space. And notice that they even have a stainless sink in here. Just like the, once again, had they dropped down to a plastic sink in the bathroom, I don't know that in a starter, a base level Class A, I would have been really offended by that. I'd have been okay with it, but they didn't. Now, for bedroom privacy, we do have this full sliding privacy door and wall, but it can lock. So you can really keep this enclosed and whatnot, so people aren't going to like open the door and stand there mouth breathing and looking at you sleeping, because that is really creepy. Sorry, I've got a weird mind like that. Now, you see here the bedspread's kind of covering it, but like CPAP users, you've got a nice chunk of real estate right here for something like that. And being extra tall, they were able to put very legitimate overhead storage cabinetry space in here, but nothing that's going to hit you on the head, because it was tall enough they could give you plenty of clearance. Remember, we do have dual 11,000 BTU central air units on a 30 amp circuit connected together. I'm honestly a little surprised the towable RV industry hasn't tried to do more of that. I guess it doesn't really make sense one way or the other to me, but there you go. Sorry, I got off on a tangent there. Now, you can see we've got a nice chunk of, you know, real estate and storage space here. But if we take a look, you can see that there is just, it opens up to just tremendous space. Now, in this upper left cabinet right there, there is TV prep. There are TV hookups back there, and remember that those do hook up to the 1,000-watt inverter. But an Alante is not going to include a bedroom TV, you know, from the factory. That's an easy aftermarket add-on, though. But and see, that's what I kind of like about these guys. They've identified the things that really matter. Like, have you noticed that we are completely carpetless, with the exception, of course, of the carpet square that I wipe my feet on when I come in here? This is completely carpetless, easy cleaning, because they use an above-floor slide system. And the power gear slide on this, it takes about 5 seconds to pop the slide in or out. It's just a very well executed layout. And you know, this is really a nice complement, or an offset, or really the Class A version of something like a 30X Greyhawk, which is the Greyhawk Class C full wall slide from Jayco. I think I like this one better, though, with the extra space you get from the front spin around seating and whatnot. I like this one. I like this floor plan. This is one of my favorite Class A's I think I've ever been in a long time. And just like the interior, they have really dialed in on the most important critical factors outside, and really made this an all thriller, no filler motorhome. Like I said, this is not entry level. This is just really intelligent spending. There's nothing frivolous here. Everything that is, you know, that defines a very nice Class A motorhome, it's here. They've just done a very clean version of it. We'll come around to like the entertainment, the outside entertainment and whatnot, but while we're up front here, talk about the Ford chassis on this. We've got a Triton V10 power plant. Now, I'm not doing my job on any Jayco unless I talk about the fact that they have double the warranty of basically anybody in this class. You got a 2-year, 24,000 mile limitation on your full factory warranty, but you've also got things like the Ford chassis warranty, the engine, and the drivetrain that do extend beyond that. So this has probably more warranties on this than just about any other potential thing within this class. And God forbid you need it, guys. Let's say you're traveling and you just never know. Sometimes things happen or road debris catches something. There are more Ford service centers capable of working on these than any other chassis out there. So it's very beneficial in that regard. You know, I always like to take care of our customers, but like even a local customer, the whole reason you buy a motorhome is to leave. So knowing that there's more places for you to stop, more oasis stations, if you will, that means something to me. Now, a couple things up front here. This has a 120-inch diagonal windshield up here. It is massive, and it wraps around both sides to give you maximum visibility. It's a one-piece windshield so that you can have the greatest visibility while driving or of your destination. You also have a seamless one-piece nose cap, so there's you know, fewer seams where water can find a way to sneak through and whatnot. And the nose cap also wraps over the front of the RV to help shield any seams from wind buffeting. The partial paint package they have going on the front nose cap of this, it really sets the tone and grabs your eye. Alantes were nice, but they were very monotone in the past, and the nose, the partial paint on the nose, and then the sidewall accents that they have on this with the high gloss skin, frameless windows, and slide awnings, they all work together to give this thing a very nice cohesive look. It's very simple, it's plain, it's neutral, but also it is still pretty. It's very minimalist. They did a lot with very little. And then again, that's the whole point of the Alante, is to do everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. So the slide awning is standard on this. That's a nice thing on these. You do have a 4,000 ohm generator down here, and a lot of people are going to go, wait a minute, not a 5500? No, remember this is a 30 amp coach, and they use the energy management system I mentioned previously to be able to accommodate that. So take a quick run down the sidewalls here so you can see the gloss on this, because they do spend more money on the fiberglass here. They, you know, on a Precept or something, you expect to see a highly glossed skin like that, but on what you would call like the little brother, you don't necessarily expect to see that. You could see like more of a Class C exterior, but again, they were very good at identifying the areas that really mattered and the areas that are just kind of not as important. And the high gloss skin and the one-piece fiberglass roof on this, like they have in the Precept or their Embark, the diesel pusher from Jayco, those things matter. This is 5,000 pound tow rated, and you do even have an additional third stoplight in the middle just for safety's sake, kind of like the extra seat belts and the in-motion camera. They are very safety conscious at Jayco Motorized because they understand your family's going in this thing. I appreciate that. But this is so cool. This is something, you know, in travel trailers since 2011, holy crap, outside kitchens have exploded. But they have been just about as rare as hen's teeth, as my farmer father would say, in the motorized segment. You just haven't seen a lot of them. And they came out swinging with a very well executed little outside kitchenette utility station here. So this is called a galvanized rolled steel. So it's not a wooden countertop. It's very robust, very resilient. And the galvanized material here will basically, it just prevents corrosion. And this is something I'm very familiar with from our time selling horse trailers here at Haylett RV. Now, just like in the bathroom, stainless sink outside, but it's a real sink with a real drain that drains into a holding tank. And I love how low in height the countertop is here. Like, my wife, she won't let me say I'm a foot taller. She's 11.5 inches more gravity friendly than I. We'll say it that way. She can use this sink without having to have her hands up here like an Olympic diver, you know? Now, we got the bigger outside refrigerator, which I love to refer to as Dad's medicine cabinet. This is where we keep the sody water and the barley pop. If a little bit of my redneck DNA is allowed to come through. Now, there is also a gas grill quick connect below here so that you can have an outside cooking station in conjunction with this as well. But look at this power awning. Comes all the way back, goes way up front, even encompasses the entry door. And if I back up a little bit to give you a look at that now that we're talking about it, one of the other things that I like about that full wall slide on the other side of the RV is that it leaves this whole side of the coach flat. It is very campsite friendly. You don't have slide outs eating up awning space or picnic table patio space or anything like that. Now remember that inverter will power your outside TV and entertainment station, The TV swings out for easy viewing anywhere on your campsite, so however you camp, you're going to be good to go here. And what's neat is this is a full separate entertainment center from inside. DVD, Bluetooth, stereo right here with separate speakers, plugs to keep your phones and stuff charged up. All of this is separate entertainment from what's going on indoors so that you get awesome individualized entertainment inside and outside. Dual zone entertainment inside and outside kitchens. You can have a whole lot going on and just really maximize your use and function out of this coach and your site. So with a lot of years of experience, 50 plus, Jayco has realized that in a motorhome, getting there is as much a part of the adventure as being there. That's really the difference between a motorhome and a towable RV, is your vacation begins in a motorhome the moment you turn the key. And that's why they've outfitted this with a version of their J-Ride package. What this is, it's a 3-phase process to make this the quietest riding, best handling thing in its category. So step 1 is front and rear stabilization bars. They used to only do rear bars, but they found out they weren't preventing sway, they were only managing sway. So by putting the additional front stabilizer bars on to help with those headwind pushes when you go past something, or just, you know, if you're going down the highway and there's an open field with a wicked cross breeze, it'll help control that so that you don't feel like you're not upper body exhausted from fighting with the steering wheel the entire time you get there. And then, speaking of the steering wheel, so you don't feel like a constant jitter in the steering wheel, they have a full system computer balanced drive shaft here. So this is a stretched chassis. You have a 3-piece drivetrain as a result that has to be reassembled. Instead of just balancing each chunk and then reassembling it, all 3 pieces are balanced and then reassembled, and then the whole system is rebalanced to eliminate that that wheel sort of wiggle. Now, to eliminate constant road chatter, basically, above your rear axle area on an Alante, you're going to see isolation jounce bumpers. And what this is they're basically big chunks of rubber that help absorb shock and jolt and like little road chatter. It's like when you're going down the road and there's always those little horizontal bumps where they've resealed the road to help, you know, every time you go over one of those so that like your stovetop doesn't go like the entire time. They put these little jounce bouncers on there to help eliminate and you know, manage that road chatter so that you just have a nice, smooth, quiet towing experience. One of the great parts about a Class A versus a Class C is outside basement storage. And this is one of 2 pass-through storage bays that you have available here on this Alante. You have one in the, I guess call it, you know, mid-section of the RV behind the entry door, and then you have an additional one behind those rear tires. Now, it's kind of windy today, and the doors are going to dance a little bit, and the camera has a real hard time shifting from light to dark like this, but I did still want to take a moment to show folks the bulk of the outside storage here. So as you can see, let the camera adjust a little bit, there we go. You do have these big storage bays. Now there is a hump in the middle because this is a Class A gas with a drivetrain running through as opposed to a diesel pusher, which doesn't have that challenge. But the fact is they put as much storage as they could in this, and I think it's plenty. It's plenty enough if you need to throw ladders or picnic tables or chairs or anything in there to, you know, really pack heavy and just have everything loaded up so that all you got to do is turn the key, hit the road, and have a good time. I'm happy with it. This is the first time I've seen this floor plan, and I am happy with it. I think this is going to be a hitter right here. I've gone over this pretty quickly. There's a lot to cover on these, and I can't possibly cover what every single person's looking for because motorhomes are very much like toy haulers in that the way people use them varies greatly from region to region throughout our great country here. By the way, the warranties on these do extend up into Canada, by the way. That's something that our northern cousins need to know because that's not true of every motorhome. So my point to all that was, if you have questions, which you likely do, I'm sure you do, I've given you a good idea here. If you need more specifics, things that apply more to your style of camping, then all you gotta do is give us a call, guys. We do everything here at Haylett RV. You need tow bars, you need a vehicle to put behind it. We do package deals. We do financing, delivery of RVs, everything with the exception of hidden fees. We do not charge you extra for things like destination fees and getting the RV delivered to our dealership and quality inspected and propane and battery and etc. That is all part of the price tag with us here at Haylett RV. We try to be simple, fair, transparent, educational, and helpful. If those things sound good to you, then give us a ring here. 800-256-5196. Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.